8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Startujemy! Pamiętajcie, we are Warsaw. Wszyscy jesteście mistrzami! Czeka na was na pamiątkę niepowtarzalny, podwójny medal z tej imprezy. One zarezerwowane są dzisiaj tylko i wyłącznie dla wam biegaczki i biegacze. Bawcie się dobrze z stolicy!
47. Nacionalny właśnie startował. Biegacze i biegaczki, startujecie! Biegacie na tę fantastyczną wspaniałe kawałki i oczywiście dużo sił. No i widzimy się już niebawem na mecie.
So welcome along to my video on the Warsaw Marathon 2025. This was an event that I was hoping to use as a London qualifier for the 2026 London Marathon. So to begin with, I was aiming to get a new PB. My current PB is 2:49, and yeah, I was obviously trying to get an improved time on that for a London qualifier. So to do that, my main goal had actually initially, when I started training, been to train towards a 2:40 marathon, which is a barrier I've been kind of wanting to reach for a while, I suppose. In my training, however, I kind of came to a conclusion that was a bit ambitious and that I should maybe dial it back. So going into this event, I was hoping to run in and around a 2:43 marathon. So I was aiming to hit paces of around kind of 3:52 to 3:53 per kilometer. So one of a few things that I do when I'm running a marathon is I'll set my watch up for 5-kilometer splits. So I'm not worried if, you know, the first kilometer is a 4-minute kilometer. I think over the course of the 5 kilometers, I just want to balance it out and hit a roughly even pace along the way. So yeah, I set my watch to every 5 kilometers and I sort of let my effort level do the talking and not focus too much on the individual splits. Another thing I do is at the beginning of a marathon, I'm not too worried about, you know, the little pack at the very beginning. What I'll do is just sort of let the space open up in front, and then I'll try sort of find a group that seems to be running in and around the same paces as I am, and I'll try to stick with them. Another thing, this guy just ahead of me here in the black singlet with the kind of curly hair and sunglasses, yeah, his name is Joe. He was chatting to me before the race and he was also aiming for a sub 2:45, and I think if I remember correctly he ran at 2:41, so fair play to him. You'll sort of see him disappear into the distance pretty quick. He obviously felt pretty good from the start, so yeah, really good run from him and fair play to him. But like I say, I'm running my own race. I'm not too worried about what anyone else around me is doing, and I'm just trying to stick to the same efforts and same paces as I go along. So I'll kind of intermittently come in with a bit of commentary throughout. So in front of me you can see the Clapham Chaser singlet, and the fella on the right, we were chatting in the hotel bar after the race. He ran a PB himself that day and he ran a 2:47. Obviously he's looking nice and strong here early on and just cruising along. Everyone's still in the pack, so you know it's kind of how it goes. But yeah, fair play to him, ran a PB, and yeah, well done, Alex, if you're watching this.
Nie macie nic do stracenia! Brawo, brawo! Na mecie czeka na was pyszne jedzonko od Nice and Fit You.
So crossing 5k, my chip time was 19:18, so an average of 3:52 per kilometer. So yeah, I was bang on here, was feeling really good. Obviously it's just 5k in, but yeah, sometimes I felt tired in the past, you know, but I haven't slept well. So I focused on the Saturday really on doing as little as I could, went to the expo and then just stayed in the apartment afterwards. But yeah, so far in the race, I've sort of stuck with this group here. I'm in just the fella in the sort of headband there is actually the 2:45 pacer, so he was kind of running a little bit ahead of schedule. But one of the actual female elites was also running in this group, so I don't have her on the camera there, but she's sort of just in behind him. So that's the sort of timings that we're running at here. Still feeling good. And obviously I'm in with a group that are kind of running similar paces, so yeah, at the moment everything is working out well.
Wielkie brawa dla wszystkich, taki maraton to jest nie lada wyzwanie.
So coming through 10k here, and this was 38:39, so pretty much the exact same split as the previous one, so still averaging 352 per kilometer. Now you might have noticed I didn't go anywhere near the water here. I'm really bad at taking in water. I don't really practice with it, and therefore I'm kind of fearful of getting stitches in the race. And on top of that, they're handing out paper cups, which I really don't like, and they spill everywhere, and I get maybe a sip out of them anyway. If it's bottles, I might take one and sort of carry it, but yeah, really bad with water. But at this point, I'm just about to start taking my first gel, so I usually wait till 40 minutes in to take my first gel. I'll go into a bit more about the gel strategy later on, but that's sort of where I'm at the moment. We're kind of just coming out of being at the big national stadium there, and you can see all these runners on our left are about to go into that area, so sort of do a loop around the stadium and then back out towards the city. So here you can see a bit of a gap opening up to the people in front. I've sort of gone ahead of the previous group, and yeah, I'm sort of a little bit behind here. Had to start to make a decision: would I sort of stick to my own pace or try catch up, which would be a few seconds faster for maybe a kilometer, and then ease back into the sort of pace. They were running about the same pace, they were just ahead of me. So yeah, had to start thinking about that here. So as you can tell, I've made the decision to catch up to the back of that group and sort of use them for the drafting effect rather than sort of being out on my own and taking the risk of that. So yeah, caught up to the back of them and crossed 15k in about 57 minutes and 57 seconds, so averaging just under 19 minutes and 20 seconds per 5k split. So really bang on. You can see every one of my splits is 3 minutes 52 average, so feeling really good at this point, and yeah, happy to just keep plugging along. So just crossing 20 kilometers now. A lot of the previous roads were pretty much all the same, so I didn't get much recording done. The split at this point was 1:17 18 seconds, I think it was, and yeah, feeling still pretty good at this point, so quite happy. The start of a marathon, they say, doesn't really start until around 20 miles or maybe about 32 kilometers in, about 10k to go, so I didn't want to be in any trouble really at this point of it. The Geneva Marathon, which had gone wrong for me in May, I was really struggling by this point, so basically to get over that barrier was a big thing for me here. So at this point I was just tucking into my second gel only, which is probably not the most ideal strategy. So what I was doing was the 40th minute was when I began my gels, kind of took it in over the space of a kilometer, so about 3-4 minutes, and then waited around a half an hour to take the next one. So by that point it would have been about an hour and 15 into the marathon before I was taking the second one. So again, like the water, this is just a thing where I find if I take them too close together or too quickly, that I just get a stitch, and obviously I have to slow down a lot. So I was being quite conservative with this, and I was hoping to keep that schedule up pretty much the whole way through. So as we're coming up here, we're crossing the halfway mark, and I crossed that in 1:21:33. So this would have put me on for a 2:43 finish, and as you saw, the pacing very consistent again. So I was feeling really good at this point. So at this point we've just crossed 25k, and you can see there 1:36:29. So this was actually my fastest split of the race. This was a 19:07 5k, average 350 per kilometer according to my Coros. So yeah, still looking strong. Still the chip time average is 352, and we're still on course for that 2:43. You can see the gaps have really opened up now, and that's partially why I would have sped up. I was trying to maybe cling on to groups and have that drafting effect, but basically at a certain point you have to sort of stick to your own pace and just go with your own race. So I think around 26k-ish, we took a turn onto this road, and it's just a big, huge, long straight, which is fine because it's nice and flat. However, there was a bit of a wind coming towards us here, nothing too crazy, but the fact that I'm just totally out on my own, it was a little bit tougher in this section, and you can probably hear that there in my breathing. So my game plan here was to go by effort rather than to try to stick to a certain pace, because you know the effort will balance out over the course, whereas if you're trying to stick to a certain pace different times, it's going to take a bit more out of you. So because it's so wide open, yeah, basically I'm sort of conserving that pace, and I think I slowed down to kind of around 3:58ish paces at the worst of this. But yeah, trying to stick as close as I could, obviously, to kind of goal pace, but purely by effort. So a lot of this was done around 3:55 to 3:56 pace. But yeah, just a big, huge, continuous road, nice and flat though, so it sort of balances out that there's no kind of uphills or anything. So finally coming towards the end of that road up here, I'll be taking a left and coming up onto 30k. But yeah, quite typical, isn't it? I'm the one that this car decides to suddenly just stop in the middle of the road for. I don't know what he was doing. But yeah, I was just happy to sort of be coming towards the end of this stint here. I'm coming along to 30k, still feeling pretty good. And that's, you know, a tough segment out of the way now in my mind. So feeling pretty good at this point.
Bardzo proszę, w międzyczasie moi drodzy, przechodzimy szybko i teraz robimy pauzę, bo biegną kolejni, nie przechodzimy! Już nie przechodzimy! Tak jest, niech oni biegną! Ależ ekipo!
So 30k in 1:55:56, coming in under the 2 hours mark is always quite good for this point when you're trying to hit this time. So yeah, quite happy with that. Still feeling strong enough at this point. You know, the breathing is obviously a bit heavier, the effort level is a bit higher, but I'm able to sustain this speed, still clipping along at an average of 3:52. So at this point, feeling very happy. Obviously, it's a nice flat course, so I'm not having to think forward any outrageous hills or anything. And yeah, you're getting crowd support everywhere as well. It's quite good. There's tons of water on the course as well. I had started drinking every kind of second-ish station at this point, so all good. I didn't catch this guy's name, but he kind of came up behind me, passed me, stopped for, well, not stopped, but matched my pace for a little bit to sort of have a little chat. And obviously he's looking quite strong there. It's fair play to him. Some nice words of encouragement from him. And yeah, he's looking really strong here. Not too sure what his time was. Obviously didn't get a look at his number or anything, but obviously looking quite strong there in the white and coloured vest. So fair play to him, and hope you got your time. Coming up now to the 35k mark and cross it in 2:15 and 18 seconds. So, still bang on time. It was actually a 19 minutes and 12 seconds 5k this segment, so average of 3:51 per kilometer. So still clipping along quite strongly. Basically had 28 minutes to do the final 7k to still reach that 2:43 target. So at this point, still feeling good. Obviously everything's really spaced out. Yeah, my plan had been to take another gel at 36k, so I hadn't taken any water in because of that. I was afraid of getting a stitch basically, so that's why I skipped that water station as well. So coming up to 40k, so nearly to the end, but you can see there I'd cross it in 2:36:23, and I've clearly slowed down here. So I've basically, 7.5 minutes to get to that finish line, or else I'm not going to hit my 2:43 goal. So this 5k split was 20 minutes and 55 seconds, which is a 4:11 kilometer average. And bearing in mind that up until about 37k it wasn't too bad, you can see how much I've fallen off here. The good news is I know exactly what happened, and basically I never was able to take in that gel at 36k, just wasn't able to have it, and stomach wasn't going to take it in, and because of that I've only actually had 3 gels up to this point, so that's a total of 120 carbs, grams of carbs, which is half basically of what I should have probably had taken at that point. What ended up happening then is my quads just totally died on me, and they just felt so heavy. There was no push in them, I couldn't kind of push any faster than I was going, and yeah, I did feel a bit weak as well at this point, so I basically had to slow down. So I was kind of hitting, I think at certain points like 4:30 average, and then I think it did drop down to a 4:50 average as well. So really slowed down here. My only goal at this point was get to the finish, and hopefully it would be a new PB. So I mentioned before my PB beforehand was 2:49. So in my head, I had 13 minutes. I was pretty sure I could at least avoid hitting 5-minute or 6-minute kilometers. So my kind of goal in my own mind was to stay faster than 5 minutes per kilometer and get to the end, and in that case I would have somewhere between a 2:46 and 2:47 PB. So yeah, that's the goal that I was going with, and it's a bit tough when you see everybody passing by, but all you can do again is still focus on your own race like I did the whole time. So I wasn't too frustrated with other people passing. I knew exactly what had happened in my mind. So going into the next marathon, I obviously know fueling needs to be really important, because I had the ability here to sustain it towards the end, and I've just let myself down massively with the fueling. So it's a big lesson learned, but I'm quite glad that I survived so long, without this actually impacting the race. If it had have happened earlier, I don't know what would have happened. So yeah, survived about 38k before this really kicked in and killed me off. I had some kind of cramp in my hamstrings at certain points from around 30k onwards, but it wasn't too bad at all. Hadn't maybe need to slow down, but that may have also been caused by a lack of fuel and not getting much sodium in. So yeah, that's just kind of speculating. But other than that, I had felt good up till around 37, 38k.
panowie. Jerzy, mocno środek. Go, mety. Go, mety.
So the final 2.2k was an average of 440 per kilometer, so obviously slowed way down. And final finish time was 2:46:41. So I was really happy with this. It's a new PB. You know, I'll take it. All things going. Everything went well up until the last 5k. So yeah, really happy with the run overall. Plenty of things I can improve on for next time, but you know, that's kind of why we do this repeatedly, and you learn lessons and you do better next time. So hopefully next time I can go more towards that 2:43 goal. But for now, I'll let you enjoy the finish, and thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's been good information for people as well. If you did, do give it a like and subscribe to the channel, please, and you'll see future races and training and stuff like that. So hope you've enjoyed watching, and thanks for watching as well.
Że w tym roku to jest w ogóle piękna sprawa, bo też piękny medal, który tutaj przypada nacjonalny względem maratonu warszawskiego, medal, w którym biegacze mogą się podzielić, dodatkową wstążkę i część tego medalu mogą oddać osobie, która ich wspierała, bo wiemy, że najczęściej ktoś jeszcze stoi, ktoś kto wspiera, nawet jeśli sam nie biega, to wspiera potrzebne. Może to jest ktoś, kto gotuje dobre posiłki słowem albo potrzebne. Może to jest ktoś, kto gotuje dobre posiłki. Może to jest ktoś, kto w tym czasie zajmuje się dzieckiem po to, żeby biegacze mogli wybiegać te swoje kilometry. No i w tym roku taki ukłon dla tych osób, które stoją za biegaczami, mogą dostać część tego medalu.
Widzimy także Ryszarda. Ryszku, dobra robota. Widać, że jest w tobie motyw.
So after finishing, went to watch my friend Ruby finish. She was doing this marathon the day after her birthday, so fair play to her for doing that. She really wanted to do it in around her birthday, so she did really well. Finished in 4:37 and 20 seconds, and that's a big PB for her as well. Only her second ever marathon. I think she really enjoyed it. So well done, Ruby. Hope you did enjoy it, and well done on your marathon.